So I'm going to have a fairly just brief little report here today of the preceding year. First of all, I once again want to really thank the Academy for allowing me to serve this year. It has been truly a year of great personal growth, and I think just a wonderful experience, and I very much thank everybody for that. So I think that I tried to just kind of circle around what our major themes were this year that we wanted to work on. And I think that as you've seen and you'll be seeing through this meeting, one of our major changes was really looking at physiatric practice and trying to set the groundwork and the table for advances and changes in physiatric practice. And I think we've spent a great deal of time both looking at practices as they stand now and looking at preparing for the changes in healthcare. And I think that we've moved the needle this year. We're not at the point where we have our products finished, but we have moved the needle and we've made the commitments this year to actually have the timeline to have those products and advances for our practitioners. So I think that's been one of our major focuses. I'd have to say that one of the other things that we worked on a lot this year, and that was really one of my personal passions, was to really increase the engagement among all of the PM&R organizations to begin to, instead of working in their separate pathways along sometimes parallel and sometimes divergent pathways, to actually have us begin to engage together to try to use the strengths of all of the PM&R organizations to really be advancing and protecting and expanding our specialty. And I think that we have made a great deal of headway this year with our other PM&R organizations in starting again to move the needle on having us worry less about being organizations and worry more about what our goals are in terms of protecting and expanding our specialty. So I think that's been one of our major issues. And the other thing that we've been really looking at is trying to develop why the whole concept of why should one be a member of AAPM&R. Part of it has been looking at preparing the future for our members. Part of it has been looking at preparing education. And then part of it is really reevaluating how we are giving them value for their dollar. And I think that we will have some, again, a lot of this year has been preparation for the future. And I think that over the next year, we're going to be able, again, provide a lot of very concrete reasons that people should be part of the AAPM&R. So I just feel that this has been an incredibly fertile and fruitful year for expanding and kind of developing these programs and finding real direction for the coming years. In terms of the physiatric practice, again, we've spent a great deal of time really going down into depth on things like spine care and stroke care. And I again have to thank Jim Atchison and Randy Black-Schaefer and their committees for spending a great deal of time over the last 18 months to help really start pulling out what are the issues. And we found unexpected things, such as what are we really doing to train our residents and our practitioners to be able to provide spine care, be able to provide adequate stroke care throughout the entire transition of care and into the community and looking at the fullness of health. And so I think we've been able to make a lot of improvements in that area. Again, for preparing for healthcare change, we've been able to put together timelines over 2016 and 2017 for products, education, and models. Our vision alignment with PM&R organizations. We have done a lot of work over the summer with the American Board of PM&R. It's been, I would say, difficult work in some senses. I think it's been very formative work in terms of where we can go in the future. but I think we have started to elucidate a shared vision for how we should be working together. And I do believe that we have a commitment to try to develop a certification process that really integrates with other requirements for physiatrists. And again, our member value proposition, we've really been looking at the young physiatrists. We've been looking at leadership training, and I think that one thing Kurt didn't mention, but one of our nominating committee members is one of our young leaders who has finished this year. All of them are taking places on committees or councils or other areas that will allow them to use this skill over the future for us. And we've been working with innovations in education and developing personal plans for practice change. So again, it's been, I think, an incredibly productive year. Little did I know what this year was going to be like before I started it. I, again, cannot thank the Academy staff enough for their, really their expertise, their care, their commitment, their support, and particularly Tom Stoutzenbach, who I think we're very happy to have with us in terms of leadership of the organization. And I hope to see you all in New Orleans next year when I'm the past president. So we would like to spend a little bit of time now in recognizing our Academy volunteers and thank the following members for all of the time and energy that they have given us over the past year. So I'd like to acknowledge the committee chairs of the strategic coordinating committees, and I'd like to particularly highlight Dr. Michelle Gittler, who is our outgoing MEC chair, and Stuart Glassman, who is our outgoing PPAC chair. For our vertical planning committees, and I've mentioned them a few times, Randy Black-Schaefer, Jim Atchison. For our committees of the board, the awards, journal oversight, conflict advisory, nominating, and corporate relations committees. Our committees of the board, for finance, Dave Welch, particularly outgoing, and let me spend a few extra minutes thanking Dave Welch for his tremendous service on the board for all these years, and his again, attention to really careful consideration for where the Academy should be going. And Daryl Kalin, who is outgoing on to bigger and better things. Medical education committees, I'll let you read them. The committee chairs for quality, practice, policy, and research, particularly Elliot Roth, who is outgoing this year. Our QPPR evidence-based practice, including Thiru Anaswamy, who is outgoing, and Betsy Sandel, also outgoing. Our council chairs for CNS rehabilitation, Joel Stein is completing his service to the council this year. General medical rehabilitation. Musculoskeletal medicine, pain medicine and neuromuscular medicine. Again, Deb Vennessy, going deeper and deeper into what she's going to be doing with the Academy as a board member. Pediatric and developmental disabilities, Sue Apcon, who of course received an award this morning as an outgoing member. Our resident physician council board, who have just been doing such a fabulous job, and great thanks to Elizabeth Martin, who will be outgoing this year. And additionally, we would like to thank all of the other committee members and all of the volunteers that make this place run, committee members, journal editors, reviewers, contributors, Knowledge Now authors, and volunteers, task force members, external representatives, liaisons, leadership program fellows. We just wouldn't be able to do it without you, and thank you so much, and I hope that this has given as much to you as it's given to me over the past year.